अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुमी से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहत है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So our discussion on sequence bound modification is going on, and we were on to the 26th module, wherein we are going to discuss sequence bound modification is an eternal truth or a universal truth. And in that we had discussed 2 points, but I will again summarize both points and then we will proceed towards the third point.
Sir, can you make the co-host to me on my iPad, please?
Okay, so this is a different. Yeah. So the heading is that sequence bound modification. The principle of sequence bound modification is eternal truth or universal truth. That means it is totally true. So in the first point, they discussed about the ignorant being. They feel that this principle is one-sided. Okay. But in reality, it is not one-sided, but because of his ignorance, he perceives that to be a one-sided. He also asserts that there is no difference between definiteness, sequence-bound modification, and destiny. Because thinking that whatever is destined will happen makes man idle. Okay. So once you realize that whatever is destined to happen, that will happen. So your human effort, your self-effort goes off. That is very true. But if you understand the principle of sequence-bound modification, it is not like that. But the ignorant being believes like that, so he is ignorant. According to them, according to those ignorant beings, the assertion of verses 321 to 323 of Kartikeanu Preksha are not eternal truths. So this is according to the ignorant beings. But in reality, it is absolutely eternal truth, and that is what we are going to prove. So for the first reference, author has given Siddhantacharya Pandit Kailash Chand ji of Varanasi, wherein regarding the same verse of Kartikeya Preksha, what he has to say that we had seen the last week, wherein it is mentioned that a person who is a right believer, he knows that the substance, space, time, and shape of a modification are fixed. Okay. Whatever modification of any substance. We are into page number 65 now. Yes. So this one. A person with right faith knows that the substance space. Okay. So what we will do, there are some corrections to be done among the words. So we will read it once instead of you reading and again then I am reading and explaining. I will directly read and explain simultaneously. That is what we are going to adapt now, because there are some printing mistakes. There are some terminology mistakes that all we have to correct. And unless and until we read it word by word, those mistakes will not be detected. So again, you will have further problems. So we'll read it once and I will read it, and while I read, I will explain it also. So this is the second point. So whatever modification of any substance that is destined to happen in whatsoever time, space, it happens like that and no one can alter it. Okay, this is all coming in your screen. I thought, what happened? Suddenly, no
Sir,
problem.
this is the first one or the second one? We've written as a first, a person with right faith is the first point.
No, this is right faith is the second point going on. So
Okay.
Pandit Kailash Chandji's statement is the second point. The first statement wherein the reference of Kartikeno Preksha is given, and it's about the ignorant being, and they believe that it is not eternal truth. That is the first point. So
Okay.
we will now try to prove that wrong, and we will also see what is the correct understanding. So this is second point. So no power can alter it. Okay. The omniscient being knows the modification of all substances, space, time, and shapes. However, this definiteness of the modification of the substance, space, time, and shape is not due to the knowledge of the omniscient, but he has known it like that only. Why? Because it is definite. So the nature of things are definite. Their transformation is definite. And omniscient being who have complete knowledge, who has developed, who have manifested complete knowledge, it's reflecting in their knowledge, and that is what it is coming out of their divine sound. Okay. So it is not like that since omniscient being has told it in his sermon, things happen that way. It is the other way around. Things are like that only. Things are definite in their transformation. Okay. And it happens that way only. Only the omniscient being has known it. That's all. So omniscient being is not doing anything in the universe. It with his knowledge just know the things as they are. And this principle of sequence bound modification states that all the substances manifest in their own space, time, shape, substance, okay? And that is all being reflected in the knowledge of the omniscient, complete knowledge of omniscient. And he knows because the things are like that, okay? For example, the omniscient being has shown us that the previous modification of every substance, previous modification means purva paryay, is destroyed and the new modification or the next modification appears, because all modifications are of one moment. So the next moment, the previous modification is destroyed and a new modification comes up. Okay. So this is what the omniscient being has seen it, and it has conveyed that in his holy sermon. Okay. As such, previous modification is the real cause, upadan karan, principal cause, okay, of the next modification, which in turn is the deed. Deed means the effect. So the previous modification is the cause and the subsequent modification is the effect. So they have a cause and effect relationship between any two consequent modification. The previous one is the cause, the subsequent one is the effect, and subsequent one is the effect of the previous modification. Therefore, any other modification cannot be produced from the previous modification. कुछ भी नहीं हो जाता है, जो होना होता है वही होता है. Okay. Therefore, any other modification cannot be produced from the previous modification according to our liking or choice. But definite next modification is born. So what is definite? That is evolved and not according to our liking. If this is not accepted out of the mass of earth, now they are giving an example how a pot is made of the mud. Okay. So before the pot is made, mud assumes different intervening shapes. Okay. And then the final shape of pot comes up. So if this principle is not accepted, that the definite modification will only be evolved, okay, then the pot will become directly from the mud. The intervening steps will not be there, but it doesn't happen that way. From mud, there are some intervening steps and then the pot comes up. So it is like that only. As such, we have to accept that the substance, space, time and shape, dravya, kshetra, kal and bhav of any modification is predetermined. Okay. So all the modifications are predetermined from the substance, space, time and shape point of view. Okay, this is the second point. Now we are coming on to the third point. So these two we have repeated. Again, we are coming on to the third point. Now this point discusses about the right time. Okay. So there are some means those ignorant beings who fear. There are some who from fear of this understanding, that is the principle of destiny, regard the substance, space and shape as fixed, but not its time. So these are also ignorant beings. They feel out of 4, 3 are fixed, but time is not fixed. Why they are not considering time as fixed? Because they feel if they consider the time also as prefixed, then there will be no place for effort. Okay. But again, it is not true. However, the above assertion is against the principle of sequence bound modification. Okay. Because time cannot remain indefinite, aniyat, when the other three, substance, space and shape, are all definite. Okay. If time is regarded as indefinite, there will be no place for eventuality. Eventuality here means right time. So this word eventuality has been used sometimes in place of destiny, bhavitavya or honar, and sometimes in place of kal labdhi, right time. So here it is right time. This is what you have to note down in your textbook. Otherwise, you will be always confused. Okay. There are some printing mistakes, conceptual mistakes. We are pointing you out while we read it. Okay. So you have to correct it in your textbook. In that case, right faith will originate even when the time of wandering in this world is more than Ad Pudgal Paravartan. Now, what is this Ad Pudgal Paravartan? Ad Pudgal Paravartan is a time frame, and it is being said that a person who manifests right belief, the maximum time that they can remain in this worldly existence is Earth Pudgal Paravartan. Now, that is also a very long time, but still that is the limitation. So once you develop right belief, you will have maximum time. This is maximum. It is not that always The maximum type, according to Karnan Yog, this is Ad Pudgal Paravartan. And without completing that time, so if you believe that time is not definite, then this statement will also be invalid and people will get liberation without before that time also. Okay, that before that Adpudgal Paravartan time also. So that rule will not remain. Okay. But all such thoughts are against the scriptures. Okay. As such, definiteness of time has to be accepted. Okay. So these are all statements against the scriptures, which are not true. But there are some people who always think otherwise, you know. Even we have seen during Adinath Bhagwan's time that his own grandson, Marichi, he also didn't believe in Adinath Bhagwan's sermon. So it will always be there. There will be always an exceptions to everything. Okay. But that is not the whole thing. It's just an exception. So if some people don't believe it, that doesn't mean that they are true. Okay. The nature of things doesn't change. It always remains static and we have to accept it. Okay. So this is the third point. Now coming on to the fourth point. So in the third point, the main takeaway was that you have to accept the definiteness of time along with substance, space and shape. Okay. Now in the fourth point, we are here, it is discussed futility of effort. Okay. Futility of effort means that if we consider everything as definite, then there is no such thing as effort because everything happens automatically in the right time. But this principle of sequence bound modification does not say so. Then what does it say? That is discussed in the fourth point. Then the question of doubt in the futility of effort remains. So that is there in the mind of whom? Ignorant being, not the right believer. Okay. The fruitfulness of effort does not consist in doing something beforehand. That does not mean effort, that you do something beforehand. Everything happens on its right time. It is never before or never after. Whatever has to happen, it happens in the right time. That is what the principle of sequence bound modification says. Okay. So, but what is the fruitfulness of effort that people don't believe in the correct sense? And that's why all the confusions are there. But the happening of an event in its own time is an indicator of the fruitfulness of effort. Okay, then an example is given. A farmer sows wheat in time and performs all other operations like giving water on time, then as per season, whatever is needed, that they put in efforts. And then the wheat ripes and they get the wheat for consumption. Okay. Now, in this whole process, is the effort of the farmer futile or it is in vain? No. Without that effort, the wheat would not be ready for consumption. Okay. So that effort is very right and that action has taken place because of that right effort. If he does not make the necessary effort, his crop will not ripen. In the definiteness of time, therefore, the fear of the futility of effort is without any foundation. So without any foundation means it is all baseless. Okay. So that assumption is not correct. Now moving on to the fifth point, what a right believer believes. As stated in Kartikinu Preksha, which we read the last time on page number 20. Okay. So what does a right believer believe? Okay, that's what discussed in the fifth point, page number 67, first and second paragraph. Therefore, the modification of whichever substance in whichever time is to originate. This is all said in Kartikinu Preksha, verse number 321, 322, and 323. Okay. So, therefore, the modification of whichever substance means any substance in whichever time, in the right time, is to originate, shall definitely do so. There cannot be any changes in that. Knowing this, the person with correct faith, right believer, does not become happy in prosperity and sad in misfortune. That means he is able to absorb everything. He does not react. He does not become happy in success and prosperity, and he does not become sad in misfortune or any adverse situation. Just because he has belief in sequence-bound modification principle. With that belief, he is able to remain calm, quiet, and passionless in both the situation, not being happy in prosperity and not sad in most misfortune. He also does not approach different gods to gain prosperity, because he believes that whatever has to happen, nobody can change it. Even the gods cannot change it. So why go to God and beg them for prosperity? And when a misfortune comes, then also he doesn't go to God and say, God, please do solve my problem. No, nothing doing, because he has a firm belief on the principle of sequence-bound modification. Okay. So the eternal truth of the verses, as mentioned in Kartikinu Preksha, has been emphasized in the above statement, and the fruitfulness of effort has also been proved. So for any action to take place, there is always a self-effort involved. Without effort, nothing happens. Okay. But along with effort, there are also other four causes. Which are those? Nature, instrumental cause, right time, and destiny. Okay. So for any action to take place, for any work to be done, for any effect to take place, there will always be five causes. Now, out of these five causes, only the effort is in our hand. All the other four causes, we have nothing in our hand. It is beyond our control. But effort is in our hand and we can control it. So what we do? We control the controllable, and all the uncontrollable takes, transforms or manifest on its own. So we are the driver. We are the driver of our own destiny with our sheer effort. Okay, with our effort. So effort is in our hand, and that is why the preachings are given to do the right efforts in the right direction. Now moving on to the sixth point. Here again, what a right believer believes, that is given. So how the right believer's dependency and abject humility are eliminated, that is been discussed with the correct understanding of the principle of sequence-bound modification. So the dependence on others, that is the first part, and the abject humility, means dinta, feeling inferior. Okay. And the abject humility of the person with right faith are eliminated. So all these, not all, these two shortcomings, dependency on others and the abject humility of the person, okay, both are eliminated with right faith on the basis of the eternal truth. Of what eternal truth? That one substance cannot do good or ill, cannot benefit or harm to other substance, and the modification of one substance will originate in the same time, with the same method, with the same instrumental causes and shapes. So everything is fixed. That cannot be altered by heavenly gods. King of heavenly gods, Indra. Okay. So Indra is considered to be the most powerful in the universe. Okay. So it cannot be altered by the Indra, the king of heavenly gods, and not even by Jinendra himself, Tirthankar, or any Aryant Bhagwan. Okay. They also cannot alter this. Adinath Bhagwan had to, after getting initiated into monkhood, it took him 1000 years to manifest omniscient knowledge. Mallinath Bhagwan did it in 6 days, and Bharat Chakravarti did in 48 minutes. So it all depends on the momentarily ability of the substance. Okay. So nobody can alter it, and we have to accept the principle of sequence bound modification to understand this. In such a state of affairs, what can ordinary heavenly gods like Vyantar and etc. do? Okay. So even Indra cannot alter it, Jinendra Bhagwan cannot alter it. So what is the status of other ordinary heavenly beings? Nothing. Nobody can change it. Consider for a moment. So this is the, I think, end of point number 6. Now, the 7th and the last, here we will discuss what is self-effort. Okay. So before that, the question is raised here. Yeah, any questions? Okay. So here the author has raised a question from Karthikenu Preksha's above statement that everything happens at the right time, right in the all the modifications, substance, space, time, and shape are all definite. Okay. Considering for a moment the implication of the proposition that Karthikenu Preksha's above statement is for the negation of the adapted wrong faith. Now, this is again the belief of a wrong believer. Okay. He believes that above statement is given just to negate the adapted wrong faith, grahit mithyatva. Okay. And as such should not be treated as eternal truth. So Karthikenu Preksha's above statement should not be considered as eternal truth because that has been given for the negation of the adapted wrong faith. But this is again not true. Now, this will be proved logically why it is not true. Is this statement not true? Has it been said only to remove adapted wrong faith? Can adapted wrong faith be removed with the help of this untruth? Can any deed be accomplished before its time? Does self-effort lie only in the accomplishment of an event before its due time? If it is done on time, then it does not mean that there is no effort. Okay. And this person believes that if it happens before time, then I will say that there is some effort. And it is happening on the right time, then I think there is no effort. So the main question on the principle of sequence bound modification is the above effort. And that is what we have started the discussion on. And in the next 2 modules also, we will be discussing efforts. Okay. So you will have all the doubts cleared about efforts in the principle of sequence bound modification, if you understand this properly. Okay. So all these questions are raised. Okay. Are rest of the deeds accomplished without any effort? These are certain questions which will arise out of non-acceptance of the above statement as an eternal truth. So above statement means that same statement of Karthikeyan Upreksha, where say that it's all destined. You know, page number 20, we will again refer it once so that we don't lose track of what we are going to prove. So again, page number 20. Whatever birth or death the Lord Omniscient has known, fixed as regards to any living being, in whatsoever land, in whatsoever time, by whatsoever manner, conditions or causes, it does definitely occur to that living being in that very land, in the same time, by the same manner. No heavenly lords like Indra, not even Jinendra Dev, can change that course of events. Nobody can avert it. This is what is written in verse number 321 and 322. Now the conclusion. One who accepts the nature of substance and their modification as above is a person having right faith. Whosoever, 1 minute. One who accepts the nature of substance and their modification as above is a person having right faith. Whosoever entertains doubt in this godly order of events is a person with perverse faith. Okay. So this is what mentioned in Karthikeyan Upreksha, and that is what being discussed right now. So if we don't accept this principle of sequence bound modification as stated in Karthikeyan Upreksha, okay, and it clearly mentions that if we don't believe in this, then we are a wrong believer, and if we accept this, then we are a right believer. Okay. So will arise if we are not accepting the above statement as an eternal truth. Then the question of omniscient will also remain unresolved, because in this statement of Karthikeyan Upreksha, it was resolved. It was mentioned that omniscient has seen it this way and it happens that way. Okay. So again, the very question of the knowledge of omniscience is again unresolved. Now the next page. Yes. Now remains the question of absence of self-effort. Now, how is the question? That if we accept the sequence bound modification, then there is absence of self-effort. But it is not so. All the 5 factors, all the 5 causes, okay, for any action to take place are always there, and each has its own individual importance. Okay. And when an action takes place, all the 5 are there. In that context, I have to assert that the truth of the sequence bound modification has been declared invariably with self-effort in the forefront, not neglecting it. Why self-effort is in the forefront? Can anyone answer? Jinali, you try. Why among the 5 causes self-effort is in the forefront? It does not mean that the things have happened because of effort. All the 5 have equal weightage as far as the causes are concerned. But for self-effort is highlighted. Why it is being highlighted and not it is?
Because if you don't make an effort,
Mhm.
you will create another thing or something. Is it that way? Another karma, or you will increase the.
So out of 5, how many are in your hand?
Only 1.
That is effort, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it is highlighted.
Yes.
Other four are not in our control. So whatever is being said about that, we cannot execute any of the changes, right? But effort is in our hand, and for any action to take place, there is always a right effort behind it. Okay? Nothing succeeds without any effort. Okay? So this principle of sequence bound modification does not make effort futile. On the contrary, if you understand this principle correctly, your right effort will emerge. Okay? So it is like that. Bhaiya Bhagwati Das also never forget to encourage self-effort while talking of future inevitability. Now tell me, what is future inevitability here? Destiny or time?
Destiny.
Destiny, correct. You write it here, destiny. Don't write future, because it has been used sometimes for destiny and sometimes for time. That's a very wrong concept. So you write straightway destiny while talking of destiny. Okay. In his opinion, true inevitability, bracket, he has written, sequence bound modification does not destroy self-effort. On the other hand, it encourages it. It's mentioned in Hindi, the verse, what Bhaiya Bhagwati Das ji, he was a spiritual poet, very intelligent, and he has written this. Jojo dekhi Vitrag ne. So Vitrag is our Lord, omniscient Lord. He is Vitrag. जो जो देखी वीतराग ने सो सो होसी वीरा रे. O brave guy, whatever the Lord has seen in his knowledge, it happens that way only. Unhoni hosi nahi kyun hi. Never any action takes place which is not supposed to take place. Okay. Unhoni, what has not to happen will never happen. Unhoni hosi nahi kyun hi kahe hot adhira re. Why are you getting impatient? Because there is nothing that will happen out of way. Everything is happening in the right time, right perspective, right right instrumental cause. Everything is happening on its perfect order. So when you accept this principle, then you don't become impatient. So he said that accept this principle. Whatever the Lord has seen, it will happen in that way. And what has not to happen will never happen. Okay. So you accept this principle and don't become impatient.
So you get samta bhav automatically. You don't become anxious.
Yes. Because this is not the, in if you must have seen behind truck, there is a statement in Hindu religion that समय से पहले और भाग्य से ज्यादा कभी किसी को नहीं मिलता है. All the truck drivers put it this kind of statement. So our sequence bound modification is not like that. Here we are proving it very logically, okay, on the basis of the nature of things. Okay. So the nature of things never changes. Nature never changes. And it happens in the same manner, same cause, same everything. Okay. So this principle of sequence bound modification is like that. Okay. So here there is an element of effort involved in all the actions. Okay. So this principle is not being taught to make you effortless, but this principle is being taught you to become fearless. Okay. And in that case, your right effort also emerges. Okay. So this again has been further in the same verse. He encourages self-effort and writes, Tu samhari paurush bal apno. You take control, you take charge of your self effort. Okay. Sukh ananto tirare, and you will experience eternal bliss, infinite bliss. Okay? And you will cross this ocean of worldly existence. Though a number of reasons have been accepted for the fulfillment of an event, how many reasons are there? And these have been summed up as 5 causes, 5 samvai. Self-effort occupies an important place in all of them. Why again it occupies an important place? Quick answer, Jinali. Repeat.
So because that's the only thing in your hand.
Ah, right. That is the only thing in our hand. Okay. So self-effort occupies an important place in all of them. For attempts at accomplishment are possible only in self-effort. Not in destiny, which is not in our hand. Not in future inevitability, means right time. Okay, nothing. In the acceptance of sequence-bound modification or right destiny, the world sees non-existence of self-effort. World sees means the ignorant being says that there is no effort involved, but there is no such thing in right destiny, because other reasons are not made subservient there. Subservient means that where it is. Yeah. The other reasons means other causes are not made subservient there, means are not ignored or neglected. It is all there. The same thing has been explained above. Okay. So for any modification, for any action to take place, there will always be 5 causes, and effort is one of the principal among the 5, because effort is in our hand and that is what we can do. The other 4 are not in our control, so we don't put more emphasis on those things. But if we put in the right effort, all the other 4 will always be present and the action will take place. Now this is the end of module number 26, and in this whole module, the takeaway is that right effort exists in any action to take place, for any work to take place, for any deed to take place. Okay, right effort is always there, and other causes are also there. And together with all the 5 causes, there is a harmony among the 5 causes. And because of that harmony, this action happens. Now, moving on to the 27th module, that whole has been taken from Moksha Marg Prakashak by Pandit Todarmal ji in the 9th chapter, page number 310 in the Hindi version. Okay. English version also I will give you the page number, because we all have Moksha Marg Prakashak with us. So I'll give you the English page number, but I will not be able to give because I don't have the hard copy right here. But still I will try to search. So who has Hindi and English both?
Sir, I have the digital copy.
Okay. So you just check on page number 310, and then correspondingly in English what it is page number. It will be around 400 something page number. Okay. Because English is slightly a small page, so it has taken more pages. So if it is 310 in English, then it will be some 400 something in 9th chapter. And in the 9th chapter, it is the first topic. So you just begin the 9th chapter and we will get it. Not 310, but it will be above 400. You just check in the index where the 9th chapter starts. So this whole statement is the whole module.
So 435.
Yes.
Nature of liberation part, no?
Yeah. No.
So then? Nature of sermons.
No. Then that is 8th chapter, sermons.
Huh.
9th chapter, beginning of the 9th chapter.
So that is nature of liberation part.
Yeah.
435.
1 minute. This is chapter 8. 435. Now it is correct. 435. Slightly it gone ahead.
Whichever you like. You just have to tell me.
Nature of liberation of path. Go further. It's at the beginning only, first 2-3 pages. Soul's will is liberation. Next. We had also discussed this while studying Moksha Prakasak, because this is very important. Further. Again, go ahead. Next page. There will be a heading. You just see the heading.
Sir, 441, liberation through right effort.
Yeah, liberation through right effort only. This is the same what we have in textbook here in Krambad Paryay. Okay. So you will check it is the same. So we will read from our textbook only. Okay. So Pandit Todarmalji. So the heading would be like self-effort and perfect harmony among other 4 causes. Okay. So in sequence-bound modification, the heading would be self-effort and perfect harmony among other 4 causes. Okay. Now come back to our textbook. Yeah. Page number 68. Pandit Todamalji has raised this question in the context of the way to the liberation of the soul and given good comments. Some part of these is worth attention. It is like this. Okay. So page number 68. Yes. Last paragraph. The question here is, how is the attempt to achieve liberation accomplished? Okay. Does it materialize on the fruition of time? That is the first cause. And according to future inevitability. Now, future inevitability here means destiny. You correct it, future inevitability, and write destiny. Okay. So first one is time. Second is destiny. With the upsham of the karmas. So upsham of the karmas means instrumental cause. That is the third cause, instrumental cause. Upsham of the, not karmas, but moh karmas, mohniya karmas. So that is faith deluding karma. Upsham means subsidence. Dabaya hai. Okay. It has been subsided, but it has not been destroyed. Okay. With the upsham of the karmas is the third cause called instrumental cause. And or by self-effort. Self-effort means purusharth. So out of 5 causes, he has taken 4 causes as a question. Whether it happens because of time or destiny or instrumental cause or self-effort. He has raised this question, and you will see that how logically he has explained the importance of the effort among all the 5 causes, and why effort has been highlighted. That also has been very nicely explained. Okay. So here he has given 4. He has not taken the nature, because nature cause states that action will take place in this substance only, in this particular substance only. So nature has been not taken because it's always there. Nature never goes off. It is always there. So it has been ignored here but nature is also there as a cause. So we'll be discussing 4 cause. Now the question does not end here. He further makes the question more interesting. If it materializes by the first 2 reasons, reasons means causes. What are the first 2 causes? Time and destiny. Okay. So, question is, if it materializes, no, if it materializes by the first 2 causes, that is time and destiny, why do prophets give sermons? So, right time will come and the action will take place. Right destiny will come and the action will take place. So, there is no need to give any advice to anybody. That is his question. And then he furthers the question, makes it more interesting by saying, if it materializes with self-effort, everybody listens to the teachings of gurus. How is that some are able to make attempts while others are not? A teacher teaches in the class, there are 30 students. Same teaching, same class, everything same. But one student comes first and one doesn't pass also. Why this disparity? That is the question. Why that some are able to make attempts while others are not? Okay. So now the answer you see, it's also very interesting. There are many causes for the accomplishment of an event. So when we say many, how many are there? 5. Okay. It has been shortlisted among the 5 causes. There could be many causes, but it has been covered up in the 5 names. Nature, instrumental cause, time, destiny, and effort. Whenever there are attempts for achieving liberation, okay, whenever there are attempts for achieving liberation, all the 3 means causes, okay, all the 3 causes are there, okay. When the attempt is not there, all the 3 means are absent. Now what he wants to emphasize by saying this? So what are the 3? So the first one was time, the second one was destiny, okay, and third one was subsidence of karma, okay. He wants to prove self-effort, so he has given as like that, whenever there are attempts for achieving liberation, all the 3 means are there, all the 3 causes are there: time, destiny, and instrumental cause. Okay, all 3 are there. When the attempt is not there, all the 3 means are absent. Okay, but when you don't attempt to get liberated, then all the other causes are also not there. Okay, in the above 3 means, above 3 causes, destiny or future inevitability. Now what would it be? Future inevitability would be right time here. Okay, destiny or right time are nothing. Nothing means it is not something called right time. When the action happens, it is right time, and whatever the action or work or deed happens is the destiny. Okay, in the above 3 causes, not means, you write causes, destiny or right time are nothing. The time when an event happens is destiny. Here it is again written destiny. You correct it, is right time. If you don't do this correction, you will remain confused. That's why I'm reading word to word, and you have to correct while tracking here from the lecture. Okay, you just correct it there. Okay, so in the above 3 causes, destiny or right time are nothing. The time when an event happens is right time, and the event that takes place is the destiny. Correct? You have corrected it. The upsham and other state of the karmas are the power of matter. It is not in our hand. So what is not in our hand? The time is not in our hand. The destiny is not in our hand. And the instrumental cause, the substance of the faith deluding karma, or we can simply say the absence of the monia karma, okay, deluding karma. Whether it is faith or conduct, we are not specifying. You just mention monia karma or deluding karma. The upsham and other states of the karmas are the power of matter. So karmas are matter substance. Soul is not the creator or destroyer of that matter. Okay? So that is also not in our hands. The attempts made by the self, okay, the attempts made by the soul is the self effort. That is the work of the soul. Okay. 3 is not in our hand and effort is in our hand, and that is the work of the soul. Therefore, soul is inspired to make self efforts. Okay. So that's why all the instructions, preachings are given, because the effort is in our hand and soul is inspired to make the self effort. If the soul makes such self effort, okay. So this is the second point. Okay. Up till now, the first point was going on. In the module number 27, the heading is self effort and perfect harmony among other 4 causes. And here we will see that all the 5 causes are present in the action, but effort is being highlighted because that is only in our hand. Okay. All the other 4 are not in our hand. So we have nothing to do in those cases. Now the second point. If the soul makes such self-effort, as will certainly fetch the accomplishment of the events. Okay. If our effort is such that the accomplishment of the event will happen, then the remaining means comes off automatically. You don't have to bring those, because anyways those are not in our hands. Okay. But if you make the right efforts, okay, which is required, the right effort required for that event to happen, if you put in those efforts, then the remaining 4 causes come off automatically and the deed is definitely accomplished. If the soul, anybody asking question?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. So if the soul tries to take recourse to those means which may bring accomplishment or may not bring. So there are 2 options. Soul tries to take recourse. Recourse means soul tries to make efforts, okay, which may bring accomplishment of a particular event if he tries, or he may not try. Okay. Then if other means exist, not only effort, along with effort, the other 4 exist, then the desirable may be accomplished. And if they do not exist, the other 4 does not exist, the desirable may not be accomplished. Okay. So out of 5, 1 is in our hand. And if we put in that right effort, then other all 4 comes up and our action take place. Now coming on to this case of liberation. With the means of liberation of the soul, with the means with the cause. Okay. With the means of liberation of the soul as propounded in Jain philosophy. Now this is very important. As propounded in Jain philosophy, not any other philosophy. Okay. Particularly Jain philosophy, because we have a complete logical explanation of the path of liberation. And people have been going to liberation since time immemorial, every 6 months and 8 moment, 608 people gets liberated, okay, in the whole universe, okay. So, as with the means of liberation, with the means here path of liberation of the soul, as propounded in Jain philosophy, such liberation is definitely achieved. Now, this is the guarantee that Pandit Todarmalji is giving here, that if you follow the guidance of Jain philosophy and put in the right effort, you will definitely get liberated. With this statement, we can be very relaxed because effort is in our hand. We are not puppet in the hands of karma or any other external god, you know. Our destiny is on our hand. If we put in the right efforts, the other 4 causes will also be there and our action will happen. It's definitely achieved. You know, by saying definitely, he is giving us assertion that you put in the right efforts, you will get the liberation. Therefore, one who by dint of self-effort attempts to liberate his soul according to the teachings of Lord Jin. Again, this condition. Jin Agya Anusar. Okay? Not any worldly philosophers teaching. Only teaching of the Lord Jin. Okay? Because his sermons comes out after he achieves knowledge of omniscience, after he develops complete detachment. So he's completely detached at the 12th stage of spiritual development, and in the 13th stage he develops the complete knowledge, omniscience knowledge. Okay. Now with these two, he cannot say anything wrong. Okay. So whatever has been taught in the Jainism, according to Jainism, is all correct and it happens that way. Okay. So those person who by dint of their self-efforts attempts to liberate his soul according to the teachings of Lord Jin does have destiny. Future inevitability is time, as well as upsham of the karmas, instrumental cause, to help him in his task. So effort he is putting, and all the other 3 causes, destiny, right time, and the subsidence of the karmas, that is as instrumental cause, help him in his task. Help him means they are just present there. Okay. Then alone he makes such effort. Okay. Then alone he makes such effort means then alone he is able to make effort, because all 3 other causes are there. All 4 causes are there. Other 4 causes. That's why he's able to make the right effort and the action takes place. Okay. Therefore, whosoever by self-effort attempts at liberation of the soul gets all means, all causes, okay, to achieve that and does achieve that liberation. One should know this definite truth. Okay. And those who do not make attempts at the liberation do not have destiny or right time, not future inevitability, but right time to help them, and their go further up, Priyanka, and their karmas have also not assumed the state of upsham. Therefore, he is not successful. Thus, those who do not make effort do not have the help of other means and do not achieve such liberation. Very clearly, he is putting emphasis on effort, effort, effort. Thus, those who do not make effort do not have other 4 causes and he does not achieve liberation. Okay. So this is third point, end of third point. Okay. There is one more paragraph in the third point, and that we will take up. In the above statement, Pandit Todarmalji has allotted an important position to self-effort in the accomplishment of an event and has also shown the compulsory presence of other causes. So here the 3 points, third point ends. Now the fourth point. In reality, the sum total of all the five essentials means 5 causes, is the producer of the deed. Okay, all the 5 are producer of the deed. All the 5 are responsible for that action. You cannot pinpoint that it is happened because of effort. Why effort is highlighted? Because that is only in our hand. And for that only the sermons are there. Okay. If effort was also futile, if it was not in our hand, then there was no need to give any teachings or preachings. Okay. Everything will happen automatically. But with this, as you say, destiny is not our hand, as you say, time is not our hand, as you say, instrumental cause is not in our hand. Similarly, you cannot say effort is not in our hand. This is what you have to do buddhi purvak, intentionally. Okay. And if you consider what has to be done intentionally as automatic, then the whole effort gets to 0. Okay. And that person is a wrong believer. A right believer always believes that the principle of sequence bound modification, the importance of effort is there, and without effort, nothing happens. This we will see more clearly in the next module, which is fully on the efforts only. Okay. Now point number 4. In reality, the sum total of all the 5 essentials is the producer of the deed. It is sheer imagination to say that the deed would not be accomplished in the event of the absence of any one of the essential causes. It never happens. So it is just imagination that we say that if right time is not there, the work will not be accomplished. It's a false statement. Because if the event has to happen, all the causes will always be there. It may not happen that event has to happen and one of the causes is not there. Okay. So all the 5 causes will be there. It is sheer imagination to say that the deed would not be accomplished in the event of the absence of any one of the essential causes. Because if the deed is destined to be accomplished, it is impossible that some cause may not be present. When a deed is to be accomplished, all the 5 causes are invariably present. Keeping self-effort in the forefront, Pandit Todarmalji has made this very explicit. Self-effort, now I think is the next point. Yeah, 5th point. Self-effort is also in accordance with other causes. There is no mutual conflict in the 5 causes. In fact, there is perfect harmony in them. Okay. So there is a perfect harmony in them. What is in your hand? Self-effort. You put efforts there and all the other causes will automatically come up. Okay. That is what Todarmalji wants to explain here. Therefore, to ask what self-effort alone can do if future inevitability. So here future inevitability means destiny. Okay, write down. Future inevitability means destiny here. You can cut future inevitability and write destiny. Therefore, to ask what self-effort alone can do if destiny is not there or time is not right for the deed, or to say what will self-effort achieve or destiny do if instrumental cause is not present, such questions are nothing but mental exercises. They have no meaning. Okay. So it never happens that you are putting in the right effort and other 3 causes are not coming. That will come. Okay. Definitely come if you put in efforts according to the principle of jinn. Okay. According to the principle of Tirthankar, according to the principle of Aryan. Okay. You will get all the other causes and the action will take place. But believing that if one of them is not present, the work will not be accomplished is just a mental exercise. It has got no meaning. There is no point in discussing such points, because if the action has to take place, all the 5 causes will be present. Now the 6th point. That way, no deed is accomplished without self-effort. Self-effort with the need of other means reigns everywhere. So see how important is self-effort. Todarmalji has highlighted this in his Moksha Marg Prakashak, which we are reading right now. Self-effort with the need of other means reigns everywhere. In the origination, existence, development and completion of the way to complete liberation of the soul, self-effort occupies an important place along with destiny and other causes. Why? Why it important place? Because that is only in our hand. We have highlighted this time and again. So now my next question is, if self-effort is highlighted everywhere, then why not say that the action or the work has been done with the self-effort only? Why it is not said? Because then again it will become one-sided. So not to make one-sided, all the 5 causes have equal weightage. Okay. So you never, but there is a limitation when we explain something. We can explain one of the causes at a time. So here the self-effort is being highlighted, but that does not mean that the action has taken place because of self-effort only. There are other 4 causes present in that action, which if we understand, then we will not have one-sided belief. Okay. We will have multifaceted reality. Okay. So self-effort with the need of other means reigns supreme everywhere. Just let me complete this. But the exposition of self-effort in the way to liberation is quite different from what the world means by self-effort. Now, this is very important. The whole next module is into explaining this statement. But the exposition of self-effort in the way to liberation is quite different from what the world means by self-effort. So now we have 2 statements. What the world means by self-effort and what the self-effort is according to Jainism. And that is being explained in the next module, module number 28. Okay, that we will do it tomorrow. Then we will do module number 29. You can mark it in your textbook. I have marked it up till 28. 28 starts at page number 71 in the commentary of Putsat Siddhi Upay from there, and it goes on page number 74. No, 75. 75, first paragraph. They are therefore requested to deeply consider over the nature of self-effort. Okay. Here it ends, 28. 29 starts the omniscient being. From there to page number 78. First paragraph. Parts is right faith. Yes, here. Right faith. 29 ends here. And 30 starts from some people. Everyone mark it in your textbook, otherwise you will get confused. It ends at page number 81, last paragraph. That is where the 30 ends. 81, last paragraph. My own understanding. Yes, here it ends. And then the last one, 31. 31 starts from page number 82 and it goes on up to page 85. And that is the end of our study of sequence bound modification. Okay. So mostly we will be doing it in next 2 days. Then we have some other questions to take up, few questions, okay, that will complete the topic of sequence bound modification. So that we will discuss next week, okay. But in the next 2 days, I hope to complete 28, 29, 30, 31. So 2 modules a day, we can easily finish. So any questions on today's session? We can take up quickly. Otherwise, you can ask me personally anytime while you revise it. You read all the modules and come tomorrow, and then you will be able to understand it better. Any questions, Priyanka? Malti ji?
Yes.
Rajeshri ji?
So can you hear me?
Yeah.
So one question I had was where it says so upsham. Does it actually mean like shayupsham of our karmas? Because if
No,
the
no.
shayupsham,
No. Shayopsham means what is present. Upsham
okay.
means what is absent. Okay.
So
So upsham doesn't mean rise of a karma.
No. Upsham means subsidence. So karma is not there at that point of time. Okay. And Shayopsham also includes Upsham, because Shayopsham includes 3 things. There is a rise of karma, there is a subsidence of karma, and there is absence of karma. All these 3 together is Shayopsham. But here only it is Upsham, subsidence. Okay.
Subsidence
Of deluding karma.
of deluding karma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
because
that's how we will
happens,
get liberation, no? Yeah.
okay. So sir, does it actually mean like the right effort of acceptance of that particular modification would lead to not binding new karmas, or does it also happen, nirjara also happens in that moment?
So for first step would be to get the right belief. Okay. So when you get the right belief, the faith deluding karma is either subsided or it is completely destroyed. Okay. So that is the beginning of the path of liberation. Okay. And then gradually, as you move in the spiritual stages of development, the other karmas gets eliminated or destroyed gradually. Okay. So liberation will happen only when all the karmas have been destroyed completely. But it begins with the right belief.
Okay. So, sir, just in case, like, say, for example, um, some event happens which is not to our liking. Simple, like,
Right.
a traffic light. We are getting late and traffic light happened. Now, in
Right.
that moment, we feel like, oh, the car in front of me should have moved faster.
It happens.
Okay, now in that case, if I have the acceptance, it was just meant to be like that.
Yes.
So internally, I feel peaceful.
Yes.
In that moment of peace, do my karam get destroyed?
See, if you are a right believer, it always gets destroyed. Every moment, some karmas are getting destroyed. Once you are into the path of liberation, okay, so the Anantanubandhi Kashai along with delusion goes off in the 4th stage. Okay, so the level of passions have been reduced and there is a rise of passionlessness. Okay, in the 4th stage. So the level of passionless will imply how much nirjara is going on. Okay.
Okay.
So nirjara is also going on. Then there are some attachments present. So the bondage is also going on. So both are happening simultaneously. But what will happen as you progress in the spiritual path, the purity keeps on rising. So your vitrakta keeps on rising. Okay. It keeps on increasing. And the impurity keeps on decreasing. And there will come a time when you will manifest 100% purity and 100% impurity will be wiped out. And that is the stage of 12th stage. So it will keep on. So if you accept this principle of sequence bound modification, in the example that you gave, so you will be peaceful. So you will not be binding more karma. If you would have got upset, you would have bound more karmas. Okay. Right now you don't have a right belief. Still, you are binding very less karma because you are calm and composed in that stage. With the acceptance of this principle of sequence bound modification, there will be many changes in your life. So you will not be binding major chunk of karmas. So small karmas will always be bound. But when you manifest right belief, then the path of liberation begins. Before that, it is not beginning. Only it is either increase of passions or decrease of passions. That's all.
Okay. Okay, sir.
But when there is a right belief, the first level of passion goes off, and that much passionlessness or detachment has manifested. And that is the cause of nirjara, dissociation of bondage. So it will go on like that.
Okay, sir.
So the emphasis is on getting the right beliefs. So by accepting this principle of sequence bound modification, you will manifest right belief.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. So we close for today. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत